All right, so new problem here. So the first thing we always do, as always, is read that question first. The question sentence is always going to allow you to wrap your head around the solution faster than being faced with just the information and then having your anxiety try to guess what's going on, right? So here we are, everybody. The question reads, for how many hours was the shop staffed by at least one employee? Okay, sounds good. So for how many hours are we staffed by at least one employee? Okay, so think about it, everybody. Again, before you go gung-ho and you start taking down the information, let's again understand what that means. We want to know, count up all the hours where the shop had one person working. That's it. At least one person working is all we care about. So we have 3 employees, and the 3 employees cover the shop. Alice works from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bob works from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then Carla works from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Let me go ahead and show you what's going on so we can see how many hours the shop is staffed by at least one person. The first person we have is Alice. Alice ends up working from 9 a.m. all the way through 1 p.m. Let's draw a little box there, and there we are, and there is our time period. Everybody, quick question. From 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., how many hours is that? Yeah, that's going to be 4 hours because from 9 a.m. to noon, that's 3 hours. And it'll be one more hour to 1 p.m., so that'll be 4 hours. Okay, cool. So we have a 4-hour window. Sounds good. Then we have our friend here, Bob, who works from noon to 4 p.m. Okay, sounds good. Looks like I got to move things over to the left a little bit to make a little more room. But nonetheless, we are going to write Bob. And Bob, our friend here, works from 12, which is a little before 1 p.m., so it's not going to be at 1 p.m. It'll be a little before. And then we'll draw a little block if I can draw any more decently than that. There we go. And so we'll say that we started off again at 12 p.m. and we end at 4 p.m. Okay, everybody, quick question. How many hours is from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.? 4 hours, absolutely. That's another 4-hour period. However, though, this is where the wording of the question really matters. Pay attention. Notice that the question reads, we want to know for how many hours was the shop staffed by at least one employee. Everybody, from that 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., for that hour right here for Bob, from 12 to 1, did we already count that hour? Was there already someone working? Yes, absolutely. We already counted that hour right here. We already counted it. The 4-hour time span from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Hey, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. is covered. We've already covered it. So instead of saying a 4-hour period, no. We do not need to count that. We can cut that out because if we counted this 12 to 1 right here, if we counted the 12 to 1, we would be double counting. Just because we have 2 people working from 12 to 1 doesn't make it any different. We still count that 1 hour only once. Only once. So with that said, everybody, we are going to be counting here 3 hours for Bob's shift because that first hour is already counted right there up top. Before I continue, you let me know, whether just in a mental note to yourself or a comment, does that make sense to you personally? That we're not going to double count that 1 hour right there. Good. Now, let's take a look at our last friend here, Carla. So Carla over here, let me just write this down. Our friend Carla works from 3 p.m. over to 6 p.m. So Carla has the end of the day, starting again at 3 p.m., ending at 6 p.m. And very similarly, to how we handled Bob and Alice, what do we have to take into consideration about Carla's shift? What do we have to take into consideration for Carla's shift? Yeah, that 1 hour. That 1 hour of overlap that we do not want to count. Because again, Alice begins at 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. That'd be 3 hours. But we have got to consider right over here the overlap. That 1 hour that we have already counted. So this, my friends, is actually going to be not 3 hours, but instead it'll be 2 hours because we don't want to count the same time period twice. And there's our answer. Our answer will be the sum of 4 plus 3 plus 2. And when we bring all of that together, 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. And that's why, my friends, the correct answer here is going to be answer choice B, and that will be 9 hours. Next up, the problem sentence, the question sentence reads, what is the total time on the trail? Okay, sounds good. So before we begin, we have to acknowledge that we're looking for the total time on the trail. So when we take a look here, we want to identify in the information anything that has to do with time and trail. So when we take a look at that, we see that the first part here, it says a hiker walks 2 hours at 3 miles an hour. Okay, so for part 1, I already know that we have 2 hours. Perfect. Then we see that we have a part 2. It says then this person, this hiker, doubles his speed and covers 6 more miles. Okay, so everybody in the green here, did they tell us the exact time? Or do we have to do some work to figure that out? Right, they didn't tell us that. They didn't tell us the exact time. And so we have to contextualize here. We have to figure out, okay, well, what do I know about that? It says here we covered a distance of 6 more miles. And then it says doubles his speed. Okay. Everybody, what are we doubling? What is the speed that we are doubling? Yeah, 3 miles per hour right here. That was the speed that we had before. And so if we're saying that we're doubling that speed, my party people, help me out. What is 3 doubled? What if we double 3, we get what? Yeah, that's 6 miles per hour. So because we have that doubled speed at 6 miles per hour, that is the rate for the second part. Again, it says we double the speed. So to solve for the time, oh, look at that. We can now solve for the time. We have the distance, we have the rate, we can absolutely solve for time. And we'll do that by filling in the formula. D equals R times T. The distance is 6 miles. The rate is 6 miles per hour multiplied by time. And to solve this, we will divide both sides by 6. Once we do that, we cancel out on the right side, giving us 6 divided by 6 on the left, which is 1 hour of time. So there it is, everybody. We have 1 hour for that second part of the trip. We had 2 hours for the first part of the trip. How do we get the total again? How do we get the total? We just go ahead and add, right? Exactly. So we have 2 hours from that first part, 1 hour from that second part. So that's going to give us a total of 3 hours on this trip. And that will be, boom, answer choice C all the way through.